CoastLife, we love celebrating all the beautiful scenes on the coast, and one person who is just magnificent at capturing those scenes is with us today. We have JuneRose Futcher, also known as JR, an amazing photographer. Thank you for being here.
Yes, well, I'm flattered to be invited to speak to you about my work.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, so photography is something that I love to hear how people get into photography. Yes. Is it sort of a calling? Is it something that you've always known that you loved or wanted to do? Or is it something that you just kind of picked up one day?
Well, actually, that's a very important question. We grew up here as a sailing and maritime family, and actually I've been taking pictures since I was a young girl, but also painting.
Nice.
Sailing and maritime scenes.
Beautiful.
And I knew I wanted to pursue photography because of an opportunity to study at Delaware Tech and community college here in Georgetown.
Awesome.
Yeah, so all my life.
Wow.
Yes.
And I know you mentioned maritime. That's some of the beautiful photographs you take. What are some of your favorite scenes to capture, especially locally?
Oh, that's also an excellent question. Well, actually, what I've been, capturing and studying, if you will, and observing, I've been, sailing, and ships, also as an active sailor. So I was always impressed. As a young girl, and we were involved in the sailing community growing up on the Delaware Bay and also at the Lewis Yacht Club. So as a sailor, I was connected to the experience, physically, mentally, and also spiritually. So as I've grown my work over the years, I, in the sailing community and racing, I've also been capturing shipping, maritime in the general Delmarva area, Chesapeake Bay, Delaware Bay, Rehoboth Bay.
Incredible.
Yeah.
And I think I see something.
I do too.
Yeah,
I see a little
certain picture.
Oh, right.
Show
And this
us.
is, well, absolutely. Yeah, thank you. This was a photograph I did, which is more about, the earth and, preservation with the Great Cypress Swamp. When I was a student at Delaware Tech, there was an internship program for the communications. Well, this one was involving the Delaware wildlands. Okay. And this is where I was beginning. I had already studied black and white film. Of course, that has changed into widespread digital. But one of my first photographs, as a student, and learning everything about photographic arts, and a lot more than just picking up a camera, right? Well, what I decided to do. And working with Delaware Wildlands, I organized a tour. And working with Sussex County Administration, I was charged with documenting preservation districts. And now this is a departure from the maritime, but there is a relationship because we're talking about wetlands and the general waterways and watersheds. And this is the Great Cypress Swamp. And this deer skull was actually at the base of this tree. And this was as far back as 2007.
Wow.
So I understand that sort of spiritual connection that you have with the art that you produce.
Right, yeah, very, very deep, very deep. And so I thought I'd bring this because this was really my first presentation. Yes, they're the classroom projects.
Sure.
But this was also involved with Sussex County Administration in their preservation brochure, a 3-panel brochure.
Wow.
Yes.
That's incredible.
Yeah,
it's so amazing that you found that you were able to capture that.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Gosh,
and this was also in an exhibit last year with the state of Delaware.
Great.
So
you have an exhibit going on, right?
Yes. And that exhibit, we just had the open house yesterday at Dover at the House of Coffee. And this is because of my 5th grant. I've been a grant writer, and I won my first grant in 2013.
Oh, congratulations.
With I know, pretty awesome, isn't it?
Yes.
I've learned that I'm actually very good at grant writing, but the program with the Delaware Division of the Arts, also funded with the National Endowment for the Arts, they produce these grant programs for individual artists. So I just thought, well, I'm already doing pretty well. And I graduated, from Delaware Tech in 2010 with an art award as well. And plus, I also won awards when I was younger with Cape and Lupin School District. But long and short, should I put this down now?
You can, whatever you want to do, if you're comfortable with it.
All right. And long and short, the grant program in 2013, I entered and submitted a portfolio, and these are very competitive. They get 200 or 300 applicants, and they accepted me.
Wow! Congratulations.
Yes, and that was and I had my first solo exhibit in 2013.
That's great.
With my maritime photographs.
Yes.
Yeah, with the Delaware pilotage and and competitive sailing.
Great. And you mentioned something too about ways people can get involved. You mentioned a camera drive. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah. Oh, well, actually, the camera drive is related to the work that I've grown because I was invited to teach.
Okay,
In
perfect.
community programs, and then of course the pandemic emergency, nearly derailed my program.
Lots of arts programs.
Yes, I mean there was a lot. I mean really devastating impacts. Well, long and short, I became credentialed with the Delaware Institute for Arts and Education, while continuing to do my body of work. And I've been published, in sailing magazines, Delaware Beach Life, hoping to do more. But then I was invited to teach. Nice. And work with at-risk youth.
So the camera drive, though, people can still donate some cameras?
Yes.
Okay, how can they do that?
Well, what they can do is they can just reach out to me.
Okay.
I'm still working on locations for collections, but right now what I'd like to do is just have people reach out to me, directly. They can also find me and do a search, and find me even through Delaware Division of the Arts, because I'm also in an artist roster program as well.
Wow.
So you can locate me pretty easily. Yes.
Okay, great. Awesome. Sounds good. And one more question for you before we let you go, if that's okay. Yeah. I think your story is interesting because you've been involved in photography since you were younger, you said, but you went to school and graduated as an adult. So do you have any advice to anybody who, whether they're young or older, any time in their life, if they want to pursue photography, any advice you have for them?
Oh, there really is a lot to share about that. But what you need to do is you need to look at it as a business. Yeah. You need to study. I mean, it's really it's really important to see if you can get into a degree program, and especially at Delaware Tech, they have a comprehensive program. They're very proud of the program at the Owens campus, and also a program at the Terry campus. But to look at it as a business, but take as many creative arts classes, writing, film, video, creative writing, any advanced classes that might be that are available at Delaware Tech as well, if you have the time and the opportunity, because I was able to do that. And when I graduated in 2010, and in just 2 or 3 years, I was able to write a grant. Wow. So you also need to be able to present your work.
True.
And that's one of my strengths. I produce all these exhibits. I do all the press material and provide all the information that anybody needs, so they can come to the exhibits and also hopefully buy a few pieces.
Well, you're so talented. This has been incredible.
We can't wait to see what else you produce.
Yes,
right. Well, there's opportunities out there, and if anybody's interested, at the House of Coffee in Dover, it's right in town, on Lockerman Street. Yep. She also, Kristen, who's the owner, supports a lot of artists. Awesome. And this is our 4th collaboration.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. So come see, go visit the gallery, and excellent coffee as well.
Coffee, and I love art.
Perfect. That sounds like a great afternoon. Yeah. Well, like we said, you're so talented, but I think you're also inspiring a lot of people. So thank you for being here today and sharing your art with us.
Yeah. Well, wonderful. Thank you for having me.
Of course.
You're welcome.
We still have a lot more to share with you all, so don't go anywhere. CoastLife will be right back.